Welcome to the Animal Show, helping pets in your community find their forever homes. I'm Danica Collins, inviting you to join us for the next half hour as we visit some of the good people working hard to bring people and pets together, featuring Surrey Animal Resource Centre, the City of Coquitlam Animal Shelter, Langley's Pattydale Animal Shelter. I love animals, and I think every animal deserves a home. Stick around, maybe you'll find a new friend.
Hi, I'm Shelley, and we're here at the Surrey Animal Resource Centre, and this is Bee. She is a beautiful little kitten, and today she's going to help us learn about dental care. It's very important when animals are young to introduce them to toothbrushes and get them to the point where they actually are excited about having their teeth brushed, because it makes it much easier as they get older to give them proper care. So what we're going to do today with Bee is we're just going to get her to target a toothbrush, and how we're going to do that is we just put cat food on a toothbrush. So because her mouth is so little, we're going to start with like just a little finger toothbrush. So I'm just going to put it down, and every time she approaches it, I'll let her lick some off. So what we're looking for is for her to get excited when she sees the toothbrush. So basically what we're doing right now is classical conditioning. We're just changing the way she feels about the toothbrush. Because she's never had her teeth brushed before, she just has a neutral. She doesn't know what it is. She's just curious. But what we're doing right now by pairing it with food is we're getting her to the point where when she sees the toothbrush, she's running towards it. And that's what we want, so that when we're brushing their teeth later on as she gets older, that she's running towards the toothbrush right away. And it's a positive experience for her. It is really important when you're introducing things to an animal at a first time that you're making it positive and you're taking it slow and at a pace that is good for them. And if you want more information on how to care for your cat or dog's teeth, please visit our Facebook page at Surrey Animal Resource Centre to check out some great videos on how you can start giving your pets at home fresh breath and good dental care. Here with me I have Farida. She's our animal health technician here at SARC, and she's going to talk to us about things to look for when you're looking at your animal's teeth, and also how to prevent dental disease.
So what are the signs that you need to look for if your dog has dental disease? The first sign, without even going near the dog, is called halitosis or bad breath. So you can even smell that from a distance. The other signs are you can see gingivitis or inflammation of the gums and formation of tartar and plaque. So if you notice those signs, you have to make sure that you consult a vet and you start on preventive medicine, which is brushing. You can also try some dental diet. It's sold in the veterinary clinics. It's called Royal Canin Dental Care. There's also the TD diet. So dental care, diet, and also brushing is very important. Most clients that I speak with, they brush their dog's teeth twice a week, and it is very successful.
You're watching The Animal Show, helping animals find people.
Today we are here at the spa, and Jen here is the owner of the spa, and I'll let her tell you what she does here.
So I'm Jen Panko. I'm a registered animal health technologist and certified canine rehabilitation practitioner. And I own and operate the spa and have developed partnerships with various shelters to get animals in here to get them exercise, get them the mobility care that they need. So Johnny is working out on our underwater treadmill. And what Johnny's doing while he works out on the underwater treadmill is building his muscle mass because of the resistance of the water. He's also increasing his range of motion because the treadmill moves so slowly, it forces him to get an increased hip extension. And why that helps Johnny is because dogs like Johnny that are a little bit older can have things like osteoarthritis or degenerative joint disease. The buoyancy of the water allows him to exercise in a safe fashion with no damage to his joints based on the fact that the water is supporting his weight. A dog like Johnny, during his first visit, what we do is we give them treats, lots of positive reinforcement, tell him what a good boy he is, and keep the session short. I often hear from clients and owners that their dogs don't like water. At the spa, we really don't have an issue with that because the treadmill comes up level with this deck and they walk right on and then they walk right off. Towel time is a favorite time at the spa, so getting dried off. We also have lots of exercise equipment, things like that. So a dog like Johnny could benefit from a lifelong mobility program to care for his joint health and of course keep him a decent weight. If Johnny was to become obese, that would further damage his joints or cause him problems with his mobility. Hopefully Johnny finds a home with an owner who likes to go for walks with him and keep him busy. With senior dogs, we often talk about how short periods of frequent exercise are best for them. And then, of course, regular visits to the veterinarian.
And now we're going to talk a little bit about dog park off-leash etiquette. This little girl came in as a stray a couple days ago and we're still trying to find her owner. She's going to help us today learn about dog park etiquette. One of the things you want to do for sure when you go to the off-leash park is work on a recall. So Ariana over there is going to practice calling the dogs in and giving them treats to make it positive and make it exciting for them to come to her, which will allow her to call a dog off if a situation got a little sticky at an off-leash park. Other things to consider are, does your dog enjoy being at the off-leash park? And you really want to be an advocate for your dog when you're at the off-leash park. If you find that they're being overwhelmed by the play, is giving them the opportunity for the play to stop to see if they want to continue or if they then do avoid the other dogs. It is really important to monitor how your dog is doing, how the other dogs are doing, and even to think about what the other owners are feeling. If they're feeling like the play is being too rough, having that ability to call your dog off and give the dogs a break. Exercise and enrichment is just fabulous at the off-leash park. So if it's done properly and all the dogs are getting along, it's just, there's no better resource than that.
If we patch up an animal who's been hit by a car and now it's ready to go, but it sits in a shelter for months and months because we can't find an appropriate home for it, that doesn't really serve the purpose of the shelter or the community or the animal. Having a tool like the animal show to be able to get that animal out of the shelter and into a permanent home, that's really our goal.
We have noticed a big difference over the years in terms of the number of calls that we are getting, specifically from people who have seen animals on the show.
We do get a lot of phone calls after a showing asking about a particular animal that people have seen on the show.
We've noticed a huge difference since we've been doing the show. People really enjoy coming to see the dogs that they've seen on TV, which brings a lot of attention to the dogs, which eventually gets them adopted.
Any kind of support that can come from the community is what keeps this show doing its job on the air and keeping the high quality of the show.
I think it's a wonderful partnership between the animal show and the shelters. We can reach a larger number of people than would just be sort of walking through our shelter doors at any given time.
I think the tool or the advantage that the animal show brings in letting people know that we exist at all, hopefully, is that people contact us before they hit a tipping point with their animal. If they don't know how to find a shelter to help them, that relationship may be so fractured by the time they actually find the shelter that the only thing they can do is rehome the animal, that they've just had enough, that the bond is completely broken.
People are more aware of our organization, so they hear about it, then they want to volunteer, or they want to help out in some other way.
And really, it's allowing us to free up some space to help out people who might not be able to keep their animals anymore if they need to surrender them.
Us getting them on TV and getting their faces out there is what brings the public in. So it's a snowball effect as the show can continue on, or they come and spend time with the animals, and that's what we really need. So it's a beautiful effect.
If you would like to help us help the animals, you can make a donation to the animal show. Thanks for your help, because every animal deserves a home.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bowe, and we're at the City of Coquitlam Animal Shelter. And today with me I have a guinea pig named David. Guinea pigs usually live from about 5 to 7 years, and they can make really wonderful companions. They can be a little bit nervous when you first try and handle them, but if you are gentle and feed them lots of treats, you can make them come to you and really enjoy the interaction that they would have being pet and being handled. Guinea pigs do require a diet of fresh fruits and vegetables, as well as a guinea pig specific pellet diet, along with a supply of timothy hay and fresh water. It would be nice for them to have a larger cage because they are curious and they do like to explore, and a larger space does give them space to exercise and run around. Guinea pigs also have teeth that continue to grow just like rabbits do, so they would need something to chew on in order to keep the teeth from growing too long, as well as they do have nails that would need to be clipped on a regular basis. But you can hear his little squeals, funny little noise that guinea pigs make. And they do make really great companion animals. So if you are looking for a small animal, please come and check out the Coquitlam Animal Shelter.
Next up here we have Gus. Gus is a male rat. He's not very old. He's probably about just under a year. Rats don't live very long. A domestic rat can usually live maybe about 3-4 years. They do have specialized needs. Their teeth keep growing when they live domestically. So sometimes they do need to go to the vet and have their teeth clipped. You can give them things to chew on, and hopefully that will help keep their teeth in good health. They also like to have fresh food, so you can give them fresh vegetables. We sometimes give him a little bit of a snack of some cat food, as well as just his regular rat food. Rats do make really good pets.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I work at the Coquitlam Animal Shelter, and here today we have Honey. Little thing to know about bunnies is they are very social creatures, so they like to be inside with the family, but it's also nice for them to have a covered outdoor pen area for them to get some exercise time in. When it comes to feeding, they do require lots of hay throughout the day, and as well some regular rabbit pellets and some vegetables. It's important the vegetables don't contain too much sugar. They can have a little bit, but just small pieces of carrots are best.
Rabbits do require a lot of greens. So you can see she has a whole bunch of hay in here, but they also, fresh greens such as lettuce and kale and that kind of thing are really good for rabbits. And they can have a small amount of rabbit pellets as well.
Last but not least, we have little Stuart Little here. He has been with us for a couple of months now. Mice do tend to live around 2 to 3 years. His cage is set up with lots of things to climb on and nest in. His favorite little bed is an empty Kleenex box. Stuart Little would need regular cage cleaning. We do it once a day here. Lots of mouse food, water, and the occasional craisin. So if you're interested in adopting any of the animals, feel free to come up to the animal shelter.
And now another pet training tip from the Good Dog Ranch in Port Coquitlam.
Hi, it's Jamie Kinna here from Good Dog Training, Boarding and Daycare, and I'm here with my friend Teddy today, who's an 8-month-old mixed breed puppy, to talk to you about some winter tips. As nice as it looks today, winter is coming and it's great for us to start to get prepared. Things we want to look out for in wintertime is that we keep our dogs as warm and dry as possible. So if they're out playing in the snow or in the rain, we make sure that we properly dry them off. This includes the paws. In the wintertime, there's lots of salt on the roads, and this can make our dogs' feet dry and crack. So it's important that if we're out on a walk that we have salty paws, that we do wipe them off. You can actually even apply a little bit of Vaseline to help the dogs from getting salt on their feet to begin with. It's important that we keep our dogs inside during the wintertime as much as possible, and that we don't leave food and water dishes outside. Not only does this attract wildlife, but for water dishes left outside, if a dog spends a lot of time outside, can quickly freeze. And that's not fair for a dog if they're not able to have access to water at all times. If you have a long-haired dog like Teddy, you might want to invest in a raincoat or a jacket or a sweater to keep them as clean and dry as possible. Wintertime Christmas treats are wonderful for us, Christmas trees, ornaments, and the goodies that come with it. But it's a good idea to make sure that, especially if you have a puppy, you might want to put a baby gate around your Christmas tree, or you want to make sure that the dog has limited access when they're supervised to these areas, so they're not ingesting things like ornaments or pine needles, or Christmas wrapping paper, ribbons, things like this. Particularly goodies. Turkey bones and chocolate can be toxic to dogs and cause all sorts of health issues. So we try and keep them away from those items. Try and follow these tips and you'll have a wonderful winter season. And we wish you a Merry Christmas from everybody here at Good Dog. Right, Teddy? Right.
In 2003, Patty Dale started us on a wonderful journey. Following her vision, we have cared for and found forever homes for thousands of animals. This amazing work is not something that LAPS can do alone. To be successful, we need help from the entire community. It truly takes a village.
I'm happy to drive anywhere, anytime, and if it takes me half the day, that's great too.
So many people just do what needs to be done. They just pitch in, and people come from all over. So it's an amazing network of people. It really is a village.
When we have the support of amazing organizations, it all pays off and comes together at the end.
Whether it's a human life or an animal, it's still for sure a good feeling to be part of that.
Community partnerships are what it's all about, right, Lila?
The thing that makes LAPS so great is the many unique programs and exceptional care that we are able to provide to all of the animals who come to us. Without our amazing team of volunteers, these things just wouldn't exist. Together we can do more.
I do the driving. My typical day would be to pick up an animal from the front desk, delivered to one of the vets. I love visiting all the vets, but Mountain View, I do go there a lot and I've made lots of friends there, so it's great. I can do this for LAPS where they can deal directly with the cats and kittens, and they can be so much more useful here or in other places, so I'm happy to do it.
Without the volunteers here, our staff just isn't big enough to provide all the animals that we care for with everything that they need on a day-to-day basis.
The sad reality is many of the animals that come to LAPS are sick, injured, and in need of serious and sometimes very costly medical care. Without the amazing generosity of so many people, life would be very, very different for animals like Lila.
Lila and her brother Samson came in as a stray, and she had already had an injury to her leg. And probably without the donations that we got for her first surgery, we probably wouldn't have been in a position to place her, because without fixing her surgery, it wouldn't have been humane to adopt her out in the condition that she was in.
After the surgical repair to each of Lila's knees, at a cost of over $5,000, we knew that she would benefit from rehabilitation beyond the expertise of our own shelter staff. Fortunately, a LAPS volunteer contacted Jen Panko at the Spa Rehab Center, who was so taken by Lila's story that she offered to provide her services at no charge.
If I had knee surgery, I'd want someone to help me out with my physio. Yes! So Lila had her right knee done first, which is this knee. So she is more trusting of that knee. So we're working on shifting her weight to her left hind. And also, a dog that's been in shelter for 6 months needs activities that stimulate her and keep her interested in her daily life. I know she is soon to be adopted, which is exciting, and I'm hoping to develop a partnership with her new family.
Our true goal is to find loving forever homes for all of our animals. Mark Braun and Kyle Featherstone are a wonderful example of a loving family who are willing to open their hearts and home to make a furry tale ending possible for a deserving animal. It grew out of a tragedy when a stray Boston Terrier was brought to us in distress. She'd been in labor for 3 days. An emergency C-section had to be performed, and at the same time, sadly, several shotgun pellets were removed. Abandoned and lost, the horror would soon turn to joy and comfort when Mark and Kyle set eyes on Grace.
I don't know how people treat animals that way. I'll never know. And I'm thankful that she was found by LAPS and that we were lucky enough to adopt her and bring her home.
She was our introduction into parenting. She was our first baby in our house. And
from the moment we walked in the door the first time bringing her home, she just hopped up on the couch and sat beside us and joined our lives. I think part of that is because we got to spend so much time with her here at LAPS before we got to bring her home, and lots of training and that kind of stuff, and it prepared us.
Our adoption process is different than any other organization, and I think it's truly unique in the sense that we are really looking for that specific home for that dog. We spend a lot of time investing in getting to know the dog and what will be the best circumstance for them.
Even when the dog isn't quite right for you, LAPS will help you work through that and find the right dog. And that's kind of our experience with starting to adopt a second dog now. Is not just go to the shelter, pick up a dog and go home. It's the training and it's the one-on-one and it's the time spent with them. It's kind of invaluable if you're going to be bringing a pet home forever.
Our furry tale endings often start with tragic beginnings, but it is with the caring support of so many that good stories can be told, like the remarkable survival story of Flame. It would have had a terrible ending if it were not for the caring heart and foresight of amazing veterinarian Dr. Renee Ferguson and her husband Matt, who saw the need to equip Langley firefighters with pet oxygen kits.
2 years ago, we had Dr. Renee Ferguson approach us and ask us if we'd be interested in carrying the pet O2 kits. So we had never actually heard of it. We figured it'd probably be a good idea because we do deal with a fair amount of animals when we get to fire scenes and whatnot.
We were called to a residential structure fire in Brookswood. My crew and myself made entry to the back side of the building. We still had heavy fire and smoke showing from the building. I heard kittens meowing. Lo and behold, it was right at my feet in one of the Rubbermaid containers.
We had a call right away from the Township of Langley firefighters, so I grabbed my crate and I gave Mountain View Vet Clinic a quick call and let them know I was on my way with 3 little babies.
That day, Dr. Henderson was working and realized that these guys were suffering from serious smoke inhalation and kept them on oxygen. And by the end of Dr. Henderson's shift, she realized that they couldn't go back to the shelter. So Dr. Henderson turned her home into an ICU for the next 13 days.
I said, I will take these kittens home and I will try. But I do want to say that that's where the LAPS community kicks in. I did not know whether any of them would live, but I know with 100% certainty that without the firefighters doing their initial role, and then without LAPS getting them so quickly to the veterinary hospital, that every single one of them, all 3 kittens, would have died that day.
She stayed up basically for 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks with these guys, feeding them every 2 hours, taking care of their wounds. She was so exhausted. You look at them and she started to cry. She goes, but I want someone to keep taking care of them. Yes, I know. She saved you.
They all made it against the odds because of a community of LAPS people. Everybody helping in their own way.
Flame was one lucky kitten, but sometimes we make our own luck. Our supporters, volunteers, donors, veterinarians, local businesses, and staff all contribute, some in big ways and some in small. But together, we are making a huge difference in the lives of animals. Thank you for being a part of a community that cares. Right, buddy?
Thanks for watching The Animal Show. Join us again as we help pets find their forever homes.